squares, giving me my answer. 5 must be here. And having that new information, I'll try to solve here and check in with my side notes. That 5 will eliminate those squares, and this 5 will eliminate these squares, and this 5 eliminates those squares, giving me my answer, matching one of my side notes that this must be 5. I'll jot it down, and so therefore this 5 side note can't be 5, and I'll erase that. So now I've got all of my 5s, and I love seeing my progress. I can go ahead and mark off number 5 and move on to number 6. And now solving for this block. So this 6 will eliminate these squares, and this 6 confirms the elimination of those two squares. This 6 eliminates these squares, therefore my answer is 6 guaranteed being here. I'll erase this side note as 2 being a possibility for being there. 6 takes over. After doing a quick scan, I'm going to solve for this as I have 6 here. So that 6 blocks off this whole row. And this 6 eliminates this top row. So I have no more information. 6 could be here or here. Solving this block, we're going to use this 6, which will eliminate those squares, and that 6 will eliminate these squares. Looking from all angles, I still have 2 options, so 6 could go here and here. And now to solve this block, I'll use that 6 to eliminate these squares, and that 6 to eliminate these squares, which gives me my answer of 6 being in this square. Now to solve this block, I'll use that 6 and that 6. So this 6 will eliminate these squares, and that 6 will eliminate these squares. Therefore, leaving only one option here to have the number 6, and I'll go ahead and erase that side note. And now attempting to solve this one, I'll look at what information I have. So that 6 will eliminate these squares. And looking from this angle, I have nothing to eliminate those 2 boxes, so 6 can be here or here. And now, using that new information, I'll use that 6 to block off all those squares. And that 6 up here is going to block off these squares. And this 6 will eliminate these squares, leaving my answer to be in this box. I'll erase this side note and jot my 6 down. And I'll erase this side note as the number 6 could have been here. That no longer is possible. Solving this block now with the new information. So this 6 will eliminate this whole row of squares, and that 6 will eliminate this whole row of squares, and this 6 eliminates this whole row of squares, leaving me with one answer and confirming one of my side notes as 6 being here. So I'll erase the side notes, jot down my 6, and I can erase that side note since I've already got my 6. And by having this new information, I can now solve this block to eliminate the possibilities here. So this 6 is gonna eliminate those squares, and that 6 is gonna eliminate these squares, and that 6 will eliminate these squares. And this 6 helps us check our work that 6 does not belong there, so therefore 6 must be here. I'm going to erase these side notes and jot my 6 here. And I can keep track of my progress, scratching off the 6. And now to look for 7 in this block. This 7 eliminates all these squares. And this 7 confirms the elimination of those squares, leaving my answer to be here. 7 is here. With this new information, it starts a momentum. So this 7 now blocks all these squares. And this 7 blocks out all these squares. So I have my answer here. 7 must be here. I'll erase these notes and jot down my 7. And finding that 7 gives us the answer to this square being 3, as 3 is the only missing number in that block. And now with this new information, I'm going to look for 7 here. And this 7 will eliminate these squares. This 7 confirms the elimination of those squares. And this 7 eliminates this square, leaving the only option for 7 being here. And I'll erase the side notes. And now looking for 7 here, there's a 7 there. We'll go ahead and block all those squares off, leaving me with one square only, 7 being here. Now solving for this block, since we have that new information. So this 7 will eliminate these squares. That 7 confirms the elimination of those squares. And that 7 eliminates that middle square. 7 is here then. So I'll erase that side note and jot my 7 down. And now I can check and see I have all my 7s. And I can notate my progress crossing off number 7. So now I'll move to number 8. Looking in this block for number 8, I'm going to use the information I have. So that 8 will eliminate those squares, and that 8 will eliminate those squares, and that 8 will eliminate these squares. I have no other information, so 8 must be here or here. I'll put the little side notes. And that's all the information I have for number 8 that's valuable. So I'll move to number 9. I'm going to look in this block for number 9. Since I have this 9, it will eliminate those squares. This 9 will eliminate these squares. But looking from this side, I have no information. So 9 could be here or here. So looking for 9 in this middle block, this 9 is going to eliminate all these squares. And that 9 confirms the elimination of those squares, leaving only this box to be 9. And looking around, I'm going to try to solve this block right here using that 9 and this 9. So that 9 will eliminate these squares, and that 9 confirms the elimination of these squares. I have no other information, so 9 could be here or here. Moving down to this block, I'm going to use that 9 and this 9. This 9 will eliminate these squares, and that 9 will eliminate these squares, leaving this square to be number 9. There's only one option left here. 8 must be here. This completes this whole row and this block as well. And now we'll move up to this block, solving for 8. So this 8 will eliminate these squares. And just to confirm, this 8 eliminates those squares, so 8 must be here. And now in this block, we will use these number 8s to figure out where number 8 is. So that 8 eliminates these squares. That 8 eliminates these squares. And this 8 confirms the elimination of that square. So 8 could be here or here. Solving for 8 in here, that 8 will eliminate these squares, and that 8 will eliminate these squares, and that middle 8 on the top block there will eliminate these squares. So 8 should be here. And now solving for this block, this 8 will eliminate these squares, and that 8 will eliminate these squares. That 8 already confirms the elimination of those squares, so 8 must be here. And so I can erase the side notes over here. That 8 could be here. Looking in this block for number 8, I'm gonna use that 8 to eliminate those squares, and this 8 to eliminate these squares, and that 8 which eliminates this square, leaving only one open square. So 8 must be here.